Welcome to Husband Love Your Wives. I am Coach Janet, and I am so thankful that you all have joined me today for Husband Love Your Wives. We have um, an interesting conversation to go on today. And I hope everyone had a wonderful day today. I just wanted to share that. I hope everyone had a wonderful day today. And as I said before, welcome to Husband Love Your Wives. We are going to go ahead and get started because we have a lot of ground to cover on today. We're talking about marriage. We're talking about a lot like loyalty in marriage. We're talking about loyalty in marriage. We're talking about boundaries in marriage. We're talking about sometimes it's a little difficult in marriages. Everybody doesn't have the perfect marriage. And sometimes it's not easy to get along with the in-laws. And so we want to talk a little bit about that. And we also want to talk a little bit about divorce. And so I'm going to ask you all to call your neighbor, your friend, your family, someone that you believe that will be blessed looking at this podcast. This is Husband Love Your Wives. And I have a guest coming in a little bit later. We can get her through. And that's Natalie. She's coming on because she comes on live on TikTok often, and she talks about boundaries. So I thought she would be a fantastic person to come on today to talk about boundaries. And so she talks about boundaries in a relationship, and I talk a lot about marriage, you all. I talk a lot about marriage because I know a little bit about marriage. And so I know a little bit about marriage, and because I do, I want to share what I know. That we ought to be a blessing to one another. So I'm just going to ask you all to call your family, your friends, and your neighbor, someone that you know that could benefit. Okay. And so she's here. My daughter is here right now, and she sent a request. And so what I want to do is I want to go ahead and get her on here with me. And so just wanted to say hello to all those in YouTube land. And hello, Miss Natalie. She is, and so we're so happy for her to be on here with us today. And so we're going to get a lot of information going on. We're talking about boundaries. Miss Natalie, how are you doing today? We're doing wonderful, and it's so good to see you. I'm going to cut you up a little bit. I want to make sure all those that are on YouTube are able to hear you, and we're going to ask you all to just come on in and listen to what we're talking about today. We're talking about boundaries, Miss Natalie, and I know you know a lot about that because you want to share some of the things that you know about the boundary thing. She has. I want to just tell everybody that she has a conference going on, a special conference going on this weekend. She has going on, and I want to share that with everyone. Miss Natalie, you want to tell them about it? Tell them a little bit about
Yes, I would love to tell you a bit about my 3-day boot camp. I'm Natalie Louise. I'm a self-esteem coach. It is my mission to destigmatize low self-esteem because I do believe that one of the traps of self-esteem or low self-esteem is that there's a shame associated with it. And because you are ashamed of it, you don't get the help you need as soon as you might need it. And so this coming weekend, we will be doing the identity intervention. And so it's going to be a 3-day boot camp where we're going to be focused on reconstructing your identity, breaking through boundaries and activating your confidence. We do not want to look up next year and the only thing that has changed is the date. So we want to dig deep and just examine the traumas that we've experienced and have a pathway forward, a healthy pathway forward.
Awesome.
So I refer to myself as boundary makers. I think boundaries are so imperative for creating the life that you desire.
Yes, yes, and I do agree. And we're talking about boundaries today. Well, we're talking about boundaries in marriage and relationship. And I just want to, I just want to tell my Miss Natalie, thank you so much for joining us today with our husband, love your wives. But with boundaries, I want to share this with you all for its boundaries, because some people would say that how can you have boundaries in a marriage? And I want to share this with everybody. That boundaries are not to break down anyone, but boundaries in a marriage is to help build the marriage. It is to help make the marriage better. And not only in a marriage, because I know everyone on here is probably not married, but it's even to help in any relationship. I want to say that. It's in any relationship, and you don't have to, be it romantic relationship or sister, brother, mother, father. It's good to know if you are about to cross the line. Okay, and a lot of people look at boundaries as walls. They look at boundaries as walls. But if you know a person's boundary, then you'll know not to cross that line. You understand what I'm saying? So boundaries are so important in a relationship. Boundaries are so important in a relationship. And I also want to talk about, because I let everybody know that we were going to talk about, even with in-laws, we were going to talk about, because some people don't get along with their in-laws, and they don't get along with their, maybe mother-in-laws, sister-in-laws and whatnot. But you need to know the boundaries. And if anybody on here, I want to put this out there. If anybody out here are having any type of problem in their marriage, as far as not getting along with the in-laws, I want to let you all know, and you can let the record show that I said this and I won't take it back. It's good, and I repeat, it is good for the wife to set the boundary, let them know what the boundaries are in the marriage, and have an agreement with that husband that you two are we, and that in-law, whether it's sister-in-law or whether it's mother-in-law, whoever, you need to let them know we are as a team, and we are partners, and we are together. And you need to know that we come as a unit. Okay? You need to let them know that we come as a unit and we are together. And you need to set that boundary in the beginning. I don't know if there's some people out there that's having that type of issue in their marriage, but I just want, and I want to add this: you don't have to be aggressive about it. You really don't. You can be just as calm, because remember, you are the wife. And your husband, you are the wife, so you don't have to get aggressive and all uptight about it. You can just go and be nice and peaceful and calm, and you let them know that this is what you and your husband have agreed upon. And I want to say again, go ahead now. What were you about to say?
One thing I want to say about boundaries is that if you don't tell people where the line is, they will define it for you.
Ooh. Exactly.
Let people know, where is the line? What can we do? Can we come over your house every day and not call? Can we go in your refrigerator? Can we write you down that you're going to bring 3 pies and a roast and a macaroni and cheese and not discuss this with you? What can we do? And so I think, you're having this conversation. The Bible says, for a man, you're supposed to be leaving and cleaving.
Exactly.
And cleaving to your wife. And so we have a real issue if you have a wife and you are still putting your family over the wife.
And in Genesis, I think it's Genesis 2:24, it does says that the husband should leave his father and his mother and cleave to his wife. This is so important in a relationship, a marriage. And I say that because the husband needs to know that it's no more mom, dad, sister, brother, this is my family. No, he leaves the house and gets him a spouse. Okay?
I want to be clear. We're talking about husbands. See, some people want people to do stuff like this, and we're talking about girlfriend, boyfriend. This is not, it's not a leave and cleave with a girlfriend and boyfriend. It's not you come first with a girlfriend and boyfriend. This is talking about covenant. So a lot of times people want to hold you to a covenant standard, but they won't give you a covenant, and that's when you got to check.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Talk bad about me, so you can't hold me to a standard of a wife when I'm not a wife.
Right, and so, but boundaries. Would you not say that boundaries are good all around, though? And I really believe, and I see a lot of people that's trying to join. Okay.
Your life will always reflect the boundaries that you refuse to set or that you set.
Wow.
Whatever kind of experience that you're having in life, you can look at your boundaries to thank for that.
And that goes along. Do you not believe this, though, Natalie, that when we create boundaries, that it helps us to thrive?
I believe that when you create and enforce boundaries, you tell yourself, I love you. You're important. You're deserving of all good things.
Yes.
But when you create boundaries and you don't enforce them, you tell yourself, I'm not important.
Yes, exactly.
That I'm allowing to overstep is more important than I am. And that message will reverberate in other areas of your life. You'll try to go start a business and you have already set a standard that you're not good enough. Standing up for your boundaries.
Right.
Go into other areas. So it's so important to create boundaries and stand on them.
It's so important to create boundaries. And I see there's a lot of people that's trying to get invited in. I don't really know exactly.
Sometimes people just trying to get invited in.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, let's go on with this boundary. I just want to really jump in, you all, about, the mother-in-law, the sister-in-law that, you might not get along with so well. And so I just, because everybody's not in the same situation. Okay. And so I just want to share that it's up to the husband and the wife to come together and set those boundaries for that family. Set the boundaries that, okay, now we're not going, because you might be in a family that love to gossip and they want to know a lot about your information with your husband, okay? Because they're used to gossiping. All right. They're used to gossiping. And so when you come in the family, you're not used to all of that gossip. So it's good to create a boundary and let them know that, well, I know that that's what they do. But you can just say, well, I'm not going, in your mind, you can say, well, I'm not going to tell my in-laws all about my business because that'll give them some more kindling for the fire.
I'm not going to say a thing.
Exactly.
I'm saying you can find out people's character by watching them.
Yes.
And if you smile in people's face and talk behind their back, you can rest assured that they're smiling in your face and talking about you as soon as you leave. So you take a mental note and you say, okay, I'm not engaging in any of this conversation.
Yeah. Don't engage in it, but let them know, keep them. What goes on in your house goes on in your house and it stays in your house. Don't give people, because they're going to talk anyway now. People are going to talk. But let them keep on talking, but you keep your business to yourself. The thing what I'm trying to say is create the boundary of saying, let them know my husband and we don't talk about our affairs, outside of the home.
Why you gonna say it like that? I mean, because
No, I won't say it like that. Tell me.
bring it all the way real.
Bring it real.
That's right, Brad. They take them on there, give them on. And so we got to bring it all the way real, because a lot of times, let's be real about it. When you're creating boundaries, when you're setting boundaries, sometimes you can be fearful, because especially when you're married, you're coming into a family. You typically want to be accepted, you want to be validated, but no price is high enough for you to compromise yourself.
Exactly.
That is high. It's all too high. If it costs you yourself, it's too high.
Exactly.
If you're fearful, you gotta shake your knees, shaking your boots, but set that boundary and stand on.
Set that boundary. And did you hear what she said, you all? Set the boundary and stand on it. And because in marriages, we're building strong marriages. And one thing I want to let everybody know, when you're building a strong marriage, you ought to stand together with your spouse. And both of you are agreeing on the same thing. I just wanted to touch that because I had said that that's what we were going to talk about today. And I want to say this, Natalie. Would you agree that within the boundary, you need to know who you are loyal to? Because when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. But you need to know, husbands, that who are you loyal to? Your loyalty doesn't go to your family anymore. Your mother, your father. You are to leave your mother and father and cleave to your wife. So that the loyalty, it goes to your wife, because two shall become one flesh. Two shall become one flesh. Go ahead, sis. Go ahead.
So you're talking about marriage boundaries, but I think, the thing that I've seen people struggle most with is, how do I set boundaries in my marriage? So that's a good conversation to have too. How can I, as a wife, set boundaries? I've been married to this man for 5 or 10 years, and he is complacent. He don't want to change.
But the thing about it is, what's so good about it now is this. When you learn before you get married, see, we want to help the people that's not married yet as well, and the people that's just getting into it. When you start setting boundaries before you say I do, then you're barking up the right tree. Because you need to already know how to set boundaries, and then you can let your husband know. Husbands, you can let your wife know, we're not doing this. Or, listen, I know we're getting married. This is for the people who not married yet. I know we're getting married, but this here is something that I just don't do. You need to let people know ahead of time that this is something that I'm just not going to put up with. And I know if you watch Husband Love Your Wife, that's a big one for me. I let people know what you will put up with, and know what you will not put up with. If you got a husband that believes, listen, ladies, if you have a husband that believes in having 3, 4, 5, even 2 women on the side, and you not going to put up with that, don't get into that. If you know, that's a boundary right there. You need to let him know, listen, don't cross that line thinking you're going to have 1, 2, 3 more, 5 more women other than me. Don't cross that line, because you want me to say, I'm out of here. You see what I'm saying? And that's what it's about. It's about getting to know. All right, let me talk about this right here, you all. We're talking about, I want to share some boundaries. That for people, I want to share this. These are some examples of boundaries. Financial. How much money do you feel comfortable spending on something before talking to your partner first, your husband? How much money? Okay? Do you feel comfortable? saying something, because a lot of times people get divorced because of money issues. It's not always because of an affair. Some of it is because you're not spending the money right. Some of it is. This is what you can set a boundary, and you can say, sweetheart, now we're not going to be spending $50,000 a month. That's a boundary. And then the husband or the wife will know, okay, I'm getting close to 50,000. My husband said I cannot spend over $50,000 a month. That's a boundary. Now I use 50,000. Okay, what if the husband said, yeah, because two shall become one flesh. I'm telling you, I'm giving you all examples of boundaries. People get divorced because of finances, not being in agreement of finance. Some people don't want to get married because of finances. But you got to have your boundaries together so you can let the other party know this is a boundary. We're not going to do this. And if that other party wants you, then they're going to come and they're going to agree with you, and they're going to come together and you all come as one. Another one is social. You got a boundary of social. Are you okay? Think about it. Now, if you just recently married and your husband, ex, calls him or texts him on the phone, that's a boundary right there. You can say, sweetheart, I know you had her as a friend before we got married, but I'm not comfortable with you still having her text you. I'm not comfortable with y'all. She's still calling you. You all get what I'm saying? And the boundary would be, we're not going to do this. This is not nothing that we're planning on doing here. Now, if you think, but you really need to know, listen, you really need to let the person know before you get married, okay? You need to let them know, look here now, we're not going to have this right here. But you need to let them know ahead of time. Because if you decide, and I'm going to tell you something, if the person really loves you, they're going to cut that texting out. They're going to cut that woman short, and they're going to say, listen here, we can't do this no more. Which he should have said that before you got married. He should have told the other woman, listen, me and you not together no more. Nah, we're not going to have this texting and calling. That's a boundary. Yeah, do you all get what I'm saying? A boundary. Men, women, because there's some of the women out there. When you get married, the boundary is don't bring no more sex partners in our relationship. But you need to let them know that. You say smecks. Smecks. I forgot, Lord, please. I forgot. Smecks. Exactly.
Because the thing about it is now I don't agree with this, but some people allow that in their marriage. Some people say, well, we're going to have multiple partners. I ain't into that, but
it's true.
You got to be honest, and you have to be.
It's true.
When we're talking about boundaries.
It's true. It's true.
It's all you need. And I'm sorry you're going through your list, but you got to make it clear. Because a lot of times we want to police people about boundaries that we never set. We want to punish people about boundaries that was never made clear.
Oh my goodness. And boundaries is not about punishment. It's about thriving and having and building a good relationship. And if you know that listen to this one here hits home here. If you're married and if you're married, right, and the spouse knew that they weren't doing a bunch of cussing, hollering, and fussing before you get married, and then he decided to bring that cussing, hollering, and fussing after you, but he knew that you were never no cusser. You were never.
Straight to the divorce court immediately.
Brianna says, period. Go to divorce court. I mean, what I'm saying is, especially when you put that boundary out there and they continue to cross that boundary. That really lets you know if someone really wants the relationship. I need you all to call somebody. I'm thinking about some people right now that really needs to hear this conversation. If you really want the relationship, you will not cross that boundary. Wouldn't you agree, Natalie? Wouldn't you agree, TikTok? Wouldn't you agree? If you really, wouldn't you agree, YouTube? All those out there, YouTube.
People can set boundaries and they just say, I can't do that. Like, that's not good for me. Okay, that's fine. That whatever your excuse is about why you can't honor my boundary, it's none of my business. Here is the line. If you're over there, know you're over there. There's no space for you over here in protect me land.
Exactly. And that's the thing. When you are married, the husband is supposed to protect the wife. As a matter of fact, you really are supposed to protect each other. I'm saying that because I'm not talking about the wife getting out there and fighting for the husband all the time, or I'm not physically fight, but you protect one another. You protect them. You understand what I'm saying? Because there's some people out there that don't care what your boundaries are. They coming to knock the boundaries down. They don't care. You understand what I'm saying? But it's for the husband to protect the wife, and it's for the wife to protect the husband. Come on, Natalie, tell us about it. Tell us about the boundaries. Tell us about how you're going to be talking about the boundaries in your conference this weekend.
I didn't know where he was coming from. He was talking about. Tell us about it. Okay, well, like I said, your life was always going to reflect the boundaries that you set. Always. A lot of times we're looking at life like, I can't believe this person did this to me. I can't believe they treated me this way. I can't believe they left me out of whatever. But we only experience the things that our boundaries have allowed. Or if you haven't had any boundaries, you've allowed people to run. I always say when I'm talking to my folks, you got to understand why people require shoes and shirts in stores, because to be in my environment, you have to follow these rules. People are able to lie to you, to steal from you, to cheat, to do whatever they decide to do because you have not set the tone. You have not created a rule. You have not set forth terms of engagement. And so you have the power to change the terms if you desire to.
Right.
Talking about with the identity intervention boot camp.
Right.
Talking about how we create boundaries, why boundaries are important. We'll be talking about reconstructing your identity, discovering the identity that God said you should be, rather than the one that trauma induced. So a lot of us are walking around as little trauma babies. Whatever our trauma said we should be, that's who we are.
Yes. Yes.
That's not what God called us to. And so we'll be talking about reconstructing our identity based on what God says about us, and also activating our confidence. I always thought marriage was a business. Marriage is a covenant, baby.
Yes, it is. Marriage is a covenant, and I want to share that. I would like for Natalie to put in the let them know how they can be a part of the conference that's coming on Sunday.
Identity intervention. Okay, so identity intervention is going to be December 14th through 16th. We'll be live on Zoom 3 days. We're going to be deep diving, doing some inner work to discover who it is we are based on what God says about us.
Yes.
The link is in my bio if you're interested. And everyone that comes to this boot camp is going to receive my boundary breakdown book for free. It's $47, but you'll be receiving that as a gift from me to just go further into establishing those boundaries and enforcing them. I don't want you to just write down 100 boundaries that you're going, I want these in my life, but you don't have the framework to enforce them. So we're going to establish some boundaries, and we're going to make some people uncomfortable in 2026.
Awesome. Awesome. And so that's what she's going to be talking about, you all. She's going to be talking about boundaries and how you can create boundaries, because creating boundaries are healthy. I want to say that for any relationship is very healthy, and boundaries are not meant to punish or change anybody's behavior. But I want to say this: I'm an extrovert. I've been told that I'm an extroverted person, but I have three beautiful daughters that seems like they're introverted. When you set boundaries, and I know there's a bunch of introverted or extroverted people out there in the audience. When you set boundaries, you let people know. You give them a time. Because sometimes being introverted, you just want to be alone. You find joy and you find peace in being alone. But if you have someone else there, a spouse, or I'm one of those beautiful daughters. Exactly, Brian. Thank you.
I'm going to say this too about boundaries. Boundaries are self-love in action. So when you set boundaries and you enforce them, those are the actions that prove your self-love.
Yes. And so are you going to be talking about self-love in your conference this weekend?
It's a self-love boot camp, self-esteem boot camp. And so when you don't know yourself, when you don't love yourself, you will never accept yourself. You will never be who God called you to be if you don't know who you are and if you don't love who you are. You cannot champion something that you are not a fan of. And if you don't know yourself, how can you appreciate yourself? So
exactly.
We'll talk about discovering our identity.
I love it. I love it because you need to know who you are. And she said, discover your identity. And I said, I was calling my daughter-in-law my daughter as well, because I believe that she's introverted as well, and she's a beautiful young lady. And so all of my daughters are beautiful. But, you need to, if you have an identity problem, it would be good for you to be a part of what Natalie has going on with the conference on this weekend, because one part of self-love and creating boundaries, you have to know within yourself that you feel safe with you, if that makes sense. You need to know you feel safe with yourself, and you have to know to respect yourself. You have to respect yourself. And you have to, this is a part of self-care.
You have to know, even in relationship, if you started off in a relationship without self-love and you are, navigating loving yourself in a marriage, you have to know that when you made that covenant with God, God knew the status of your self-love at that time. He knew what you felt about yourself. But you have to understand that, and your spouse has to understand that as you navigate self-love, it's not rejection of them. It may be calling them higher.
Yes.
I don't think it was ever God's plan for you to stay in low self-esteem.
And what is true is this. If your spouse, and I truly believe this, if your spouse truly loves you, they will do whatever it takes to please you.
To that point, Mom, though, I feel like this. If you don't love yourself, your intentions can be selfish. You know what I mean? And I want to be clear about that, because if you don't love yourself, you may not want me to go higher.
Ooh.
Because me going higher threatens the dynamic of our relationship.
Ooh.
I have lost friends because when you love yourself, if you're on the even plane with people who don't love themselves, you all hate each other. Y'all hate yourselves together. That's a camaraderie that you have. You don't feel good about yourself, me either, girl. And you're friends with people who don't love themselves. But then you start saying, you know what, I'm going to stop talking bad about myself. I'm going to stop accepting less than what I deserve. I'm going to stop abusing myself.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly, the people that you had camaraderie with, you're not aligned, right?
Yeah.
So as you continue to grow, this person is going to say, she thinks she's better than me.
Oh, mercy.
It's not, I think I'm better than you, but I am better than who I was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, so we're talking about navigating relationships and improving self-esteem. That person, you may love somebody, but if they refuse to grow, what do? What do? You shrink back down and make them comfortable? Absolutely not. You have to understand that some relationships won't survive you becoming who God called you to be.
Mm-hmm. And so we're not looking for that now. We're talking about creating boundaries that help you thrive. We're talking about, and I'm seeing some of the comments, you all. But we talking about creating boundaries. We're talking about loyalty. We're talking about. I want to talk a little bit about divorce. Just a little bit, because the Word of God says in Genesis 2:24, it says that a man should leave his father and his mother and cleave to his wife. And so I want to talk about the boundaries first, you all, and creating boundaries for the marriage. I wanted to talk about that first, because if you can get that correct, if you can get that well in the marriage, then you're more likely not to be divorced, because you're not going to cross lines that you know that your spouse is. This is really for a healthy marriage. When you create boundaries, then you can look forward to a healthier, happier relationship. You can look forward to that, because when you really care for someone, you're not going to cross the line. You're not going to cross the line and cause problems in your relationship. If you knew that you married someone that wasn't someone that was always kicking it out at a nightclub, and you knew when you married the woman, she wasn't a nightclubber, but you decided that you did it before you got married, and you said that I'm gonna keep on doing it. And I'm using nightclub, but there's so many other things that when you were dating or courting that you were doing. And some people, let's talk about this a little bit, Miss Natalie. Some people wear masks. My goodness. They're masked down. And all the woman wants to do is to get the man, so she's going to wear a mask. But the real person comes out. The real person gonna come out after a while. And sometime a man, he wears the mask just so he can get the woman. Do you all hear me? So no boundaries get created. All you doing is trying to get one another. When you're courting or dating, you need to see if this is husband or wife material. My daughter here uses something, I love it. There's a little phrase she says, a man, what do you say? A man chooses, but a woman decides. Isn't that what it is? A man chooses. When a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. A man chooses, but a woman decides. Because it's up to us to decide whether we want you or not. Come on, somebody. Am I not right on that? Even though a man can choose you, that don't mean you have to say yes. Because there's plenty, as the old people used to say, there's plenty of fish in the sea.
Some of our inability to create and set boundaries is causing our decision making to be off balance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You don't know how to make a decision. Oh, he liked me. I guess I'll go with him.
But if you have low self-esteem and you don't feel good about yourself, then the first train coming through, you're going to say, hey, just like she just said, he likes me, I'm going with him. And he's the one that you should have cut off long ago. It shouldn't have even got started.
Shouldn't even been with that 500 feet of you.
Exactly.
Yes, I go with him.
Guess I go with him. No, this is not, this is not have it your way. You need to this is not for the man to have his way, because it's a lot of, as they say, suitors come around. It's a lot of suitors come around. And just because somebody gave you a little bit of eye or gave you a little bit of attention, that means nothing. That means, listen, if you're looking for any light, here's the light right here. Don't pick the first train coming through. That's the light that every woman needs to see. Okay? That's the light that every woman needs to see. The first train that's coming through, you're not going to pick it. Okay? And action speaks louder than words. Even if you tell a man, no, you're not for me, you make sure he knows that he is not for you. And I just...
Before you get to decide on a man, make sure you decide on the quality of life you want to live.
Wow.
And if somebody cannot give you the quality of life you want to live, that ain't it.
Did you all hear that, YouTube? I want to make sure you all heard that. If the man is not giving you the quality of life that you want to live, make sure what, sister?
No, I said before you get to deciding on a man, you need to know the quality of life you want to live.
Right.
So if you know the quality of life you want to live, and somebody comes offering you something, they chose you and they want to offer you, here's my offer to be your husband. If that is not in alignment with the life that you desire for yourself, you need to go ahead and next train.
Next train. Next train. With the next, and I don't care if you gotta wait 2, 3, 5, 10 years for the next train to come through. It's better to wait than to be unhappy. It's better to wait, ladies, than to be unhappy. We giving you all some wisdom today, and some of you all, listen, it's not too late if you're already married. If it's not, if you're already married, you can still set them boundaries. You can set them boundaries now, even if you're already married. Yes, you can. And guess what? If that man really wants you, he gonna change his behavior. I'm telling you. You can say, look, you don't change this now, because I didn't sign up for this. Because you didn't tell me that this is what you like. Okay? You didn't tell me this is what I had to do here. We're going to ride them cowboy. We're going to get on through, I mean, come on, because it's all about being healthy and happy, having a healthy and happy relationship, you all. Okay, it's about having a healthy and happy relationship, and so I think I've touched some of the things that Natalie, could you please tell them before we go? I want you to tell, let us know, why does it matter? I don't know if that might be getting too much into what you're going to be talking about this weekend. Yeah.
Why does it matter?
Why does relationship boundaries matter?
I said it earlier. Boundaries are self-esteem in action. All right. Boundaries, your life will always reflect the boundaries that you are willing to set. And so, I also said, if you don't tell where the line is, they will overstep it. Mm-hmm. They will run over you. And I want people to know that the life experiences that you're having is because of your boundaries. Why is somebody not calling you? Why is somebody not texting you? Why are they standing you up? Why do they feel like it's okay to lie to you? Why do they feel like it's okay to cheat? Why do they feel like it's okay to use and abuse you? Why? Because you have allowed it. And once you are able to own your worth, know that you are deserving of all good things, you're going to stop dealing with less than that. You're going to freely deny people access to you.
Yeah.
You know your value. You deny access unapologetically. And so I think that a boundary is not just a rule for someone else. It's a standard that protects the identity that God has given you. right? If God says you're his daughter, you're a princess, you're not going to allow treatment that is not worthy of a princess.
Exactly.
You're not going to allow treatment that doesn't line up with what God says about you. And so that's why I think the identity intervention is so important, because you can't fully create boundaries for yourself if you don't know yourself, if you don't know your value.
Right.
You know yourself, you love yourself, you're going to create boundaries to protect who you are and who God says you are. And then once you create those boundaries, you're going to cultivate a confidence that you go out into the world knowing, I know who I am, I know whose I am, I know what I will allow, and I know what I won't tolerate. And so that's what we'll be talking about. Day 1 is going to be about your identity. Day 2 will be about boundaries. And then day 3 will be about walking forward in the confidence of the work that we do in day 1 and 2. So I hope you guys join us December 14th through 16th.
And how can they find it, Natalie? Do they need to go on your page?
Yeah, if you come to my page, the link is in my bio.
Natalie Louise, everybody. Natalie Louise.
I am Natalie Louise on TikTok.
I am Natalie Louise on TikTok, and go in the bio, and that's how you can find that information. Natalie, thank you so much for coming on with us and talking about the boundaries. We're trying to build healthy and happy relationships. And we talked about loyalty in a relationship, that the spouse needs to know how to be loyal in their relationship, okay? Because loyalty is very important. And also, we talked about boundaries and how you need to create boundaries and set boundaries. That's what we talked about today. And building a healthy and happy relationship. We give you all tips on husbands, love your wives. We give you all tips so that because we want healthy and happy relationships just like you all do. You understand what I'm saying? And so I'm going to let Natalie go because she has a lot of the things that she's working on, and just want to tell you thank you, Natalie, and we hope that you'll be able to come back to see us again. And for all those people that have had invite, thank you so much, sweetheart. And for all those people that was on our, Lord, I thank you. All those people that was on, we thank you all for the TikTok crew. We thank you for the TikTok crew. And so I just want to tell you all thank you for all those that joined us with Husband Love Your Wives. And, we talk a lot about, like I said, loyalty and creating boundaries. And we're going to talk about this some more because this is really, really important to have a good relationship. You need to create boundaries, and you need to know how to treat people in the in-laws and everything. And you also need to know how to let people know how you want to be treated. And so we love you all, and we say until next time, we say peace be multiplied unto you. And we'll see you on next Monday at 5 p.m. Peace.